Guys, we seriously need to sit down and have a conversation because the conversations around the club is getting louder, messier, and more revealing each day. On one hand, we're hearing that Enzo Maresca is high on Manchester City's shortlist if Pep Guardiola exits next summer. On the other hand, Chelsea are openly briefing that they need midfield reinforcements because the current situation has forced Maresca into playing right backs in centre midfield. Now, when you connect the dots, you start to realize something important. Chelsea's problem isn't just tactics, it's structure, availability, finances, and long term planning all colliding at once. Just recently, we just heard that Enzo Maresca has sacked his former agent and now has a new agent in George Mendes. And at the center of it all, we have Enzo Maresca. And let's be very clear here, Manchester City, they don't shortlist managers casually. They don't panic hire and they don't even chase trend. So if Maresca is genuinely high among their candidates, that tells you everything you need to know about how he's viewed outside Chelsea. Now, how the context of he knows the City system inside out. He understands positional play at the highest level and he's already tested. He's tasted silverwares in his first season as a Chelsea manager, and that matters a lot because success does change mindset. Once the manager wins something, especially under pressure, he starts to believe I can do this at the highest level. I can do this at the very top. And let's be honest, if Pep leaves and City comes calling, Maresca would be walking into a settled football structure, a, that has clear identity with elite depth in every position and players perfectly suited for his style and ideas. Compared to what Chelsea have, where we are having to constantly review the managers and question his tactics or his ideas. We have we are flooded with youthful squad. The financial We also have financial restrictions to deal with and availability issue. From Maresca's perspective, City would be a football heaven. It's not just Manchester City that are looking at him. He's also highly regarded in Juventus. And when we talk about the midfield, because this is where Chelsea's reality really hits, Chelsea are looking at uh, Adam Watson of Crystal Palace. I mentioned this yesterday in my previous video. Earlier in my previous video. They also have Kobe Menu of Manchester United and Elliot Anderson of Nottingham Forest. And these are not cheap players. And why? Because we are constantly having to deal with the absence of Romeo Lavia. Okay, and it's destabilizing the midfield plan. And let's be honest, Lavia was supposed to be the ball controller. The controller, the pressure, the guy who absorbs the pressure, and the player who allows rotation. Instead, is barely available. And when Lavia isn't there, Caicedo plays every moment or every minute. Enzo gets run into the ground like we are seeing now. Reece James and Gusto ends up as in the midfield, and this is not even. I'm not going to call this tactical creativity. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. Again, this is just out of the fact that Chelsea need to survive. It is done out of necessity. This is my opinion. Okay, and here's where the question gets very uncomfortable because if Chelsea are financially restricted because we have an agreement with UEFA not to spend beyond 20 million pounds net spend per season for the next 3 years under UEFA agreement. So this means that Chelsea will be forced to sell a senior player to buy another. And then I think that this is going to be affecting two players in the midfield. One, Romeo Lavia, and I'm not surprised that Romeo Lavia's name is going to be thrown into this. And then the second is Andrey Santos because of his lack of trust, the lack of trust from Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca doesn't trust him. Okay, he's already at the club. He's comfortable in midfield zones. He's energetic and very technical. Okay, but yet Enzo Maresca is very hesitant in using him, probably due to experience. I really don't know. But then the truth of the matter is that Santos struggles to get meaningful game time and trust from Enzo Maresca. So Chelsea are willing to spend close to for Newcastle Crystal Palace to be to for it to require close to 100 million quid to get Crystal Palace to listen to Chelsea, or better still, go for Kobe Menu, who's not a six. That's the difference between Kobe Menu and Wharton. You cannot have Kobe Menu sitting as a six. He can do that occasionally, every now and then, but it's not his real role. Kobe Menu is more suited to play the box to box role, while Adam Watson is more like Romeo Lavia, a sitting six, and is very very good, very technical, and very who's got fast play. So I really do not know now. This is this is really really giving me a headache, yeah. Because the truth of the matter is that the power, what benefits from this the most is from today's news that I've been able to gather so far. The one person that this benefits the most is Enzo Maresca because now this puts him in a power position. He's got suitors like Manchester City high on him, Juventus also high on him, and every other top club in Europe. And then on the other hand, we also have Chelsea, who would not want to destabilize and have to restart again. And if by any means, let me just put this out there now, if by any means we lose Enzo Maresca, I'm going to lose total faith in this project. I'm beginning to lose it already just at the start of the very first news when Enzo Maresca came on the after the Everton game came on and said that it's been the worst 48 hours of his Chelsea career. And then everything, smoke started coming out and all that and all that. So if we end up losing Enzo Maresca, I don't see a better manager than Enzo Maresca right now. And this is Enzo Maresca who's going. This is a, I'm not saying Enzo Maresca is the best of the best. I mean, he's one of the upcoming managers. He's not. He's still very young in his managerial career, but of all the of all Enzo Maresca's ilk and level, Enzo Maresca is top one. Someone close to the elite managers that we have in world football. So if we end up losing Enzo Maresca, someone who's very good at building players and all that, I don't know who's going to. Not many managers would be happy to build young players. Not many managers have that patience. Pochettino gave up because he couldn't deal with it. So this is not going to go down well with a lot of the Chelsea faithfuls. So I believe that if Enzo Maresca ends up at Manchester City with the plethora of players that they have, the squad that Manchester City have suits Enzo Maresca's idea and philosophy. It's like everyone shut the shop, everyone go home. And he's not going to have to be explaining himself every now and then. A City team or a city institution where they have money available to spend compared to what Chelsea. So right now, I believe that Chelsea will do right by themselves or by Enzo Maresca and give him what he wants, or at the very least, meet him halfway. Because this is where we really, really need to lock in. We cannot just buy. Chelsea just cannot buy their way out of it because under the current UEFA agreement, Chelsea can only spend around £20 million per season, unless a senior player is sold and replaced, and that means that any deal for Adam Watson would require a sacrifice, or even Kobe Menu, or anything like that. The depth does not magically increase. So when Maresca is rotating heavily, improvising and managing minutes, he's doing it knowing that reinforcements are not guaranteed. And that's important because criticism of Enzo Maresca must come with context. There's limited spending, key injuries to Levi Colwell, and that actually got Enzo Maresca fuming because we had a lot of opportunity to bridge the gap, or at least create a short-term fix for the absence of Levi Cole. But instead, Chelsea looked away and opted against it. We must we must contextualize the young squad and also the fact that the season is quite long. And to be brutally honest, at Manchester City, the system is already accepted. The players fit it. Like I said, the fit is philosophy to the T. And the squad is stacked with technical monsters. Rotation doesn't even weak the team compared to what Chelsea have, where every week, every tweak causes confusion, every rotation sparks debate. Players are still learning patterns, and availability dictates tactics. So if Enzo Maresca is confident in his ideas and winning early only boosts that confidence, he will naturally think that imagine what I can do with the City squad. And that's not arrogance at all. If anyone is going to come here and say he's being arrogant, well, you can call it that's yours. But I'm going to call it ambition because every manager wants to evolve, want to grow. You cannot afford to just be in a place and you have some people above you who's questioning your ideas, your philosophy, your game plan, and all that, and also calling the shots on what player or what team to select. So he's tasted trophies. He's tasted the Club World Cup. He's also tasted winning the Conference League. You don't think he's going to back himself to challenge? He's just dropped the master class against. I mean, a very good result. Even though I'm livid that we didn't come out top against Arsenal, he's dropped a master class against Arsenal. Imagine what he would do with the City squad. He's going to be backing himself. So I don't. If you guys see Enzo Maresca as being arrogant and all that, may I look at someone who has been ambitious and yes, he's ready to test himself against the very best. Excuse me. And this is a danger that Chelsea must avoid because if the club keeps questioning Enzo Maresca publicly or delay solution, like I said, and they still continue this patchwork fixes where they creating short-term solutions and all that in situations where we are seeing Reece James, the fullbacks are inverting into the midfield or being used as midfielders. For instance, the game against Atlanta, and they are not supporting him and backing him to a reasonable level. They will risk pushing a manager towards a greener grass. And believe me, you man, I dare say it again. I'm saying it with my full chest, with all sincerity and no shades of doubt that if Enzo Maresca ends up at Manchester City with the plethora of players there, my. That's one heaven for him. And is also going to be backed financially. So Chelsea and the higher ups, I mean, that's the sporting directors, they really, really need to think about this, because if they are thinking of getting Liam Roseno from Strasbourg to come and replace Enzo Maresca, it's not going to work. I mean, we might as well just sell the club. Let's just sell the club to someone who's got better visions for Chelsea. It's still beating me how they've still not been able to come to a resolve or an agreement on what to do with the Chelsea stadium. And now, like I made it, like in my last video, we're losing the battle to the other candidate who's interested in developing Elscott and turn it into residential and business environment. Whereas Chelsea could be building and also have the opportunity to be able to, if they build now and get to 65,000 capacity, Elscott guarantees Chelsea the opportunity to expand if they so fit. So it's not going to be because Enzo Maresca fails if he does decide to work. It's going to be because he has outgrown the environment, and it's going to be painfully familiar. It's really, really going to be painful. Not because I have some sort of attachment to Enzo Maresca and all that. It's the fact that we're going to have to be starting all over again. And I don't think that with the fans or the players that we have right now deserve to start all over again. So the best bet is for Chelsea, the sporting directors, Enzo Maresca, have a roundtable conversation and both parties meet at the middle. Both come to a compromise. There is the talk of Enzo Maresca has got a contract with Chelsea running to 2027 or 2030, and it's going to require heavy compensation if Manchester City comes poaching. Who told you that Manchester City don't have the finances to match up the compensation? The truth of the matter is, if Manchester City really, really want Enzo Maresca, it doesn't matter how much is on Enzo Maresca's contract. They'll pay the money and get their man. So Chelsea are, to wrap up, Chelsea are shopping because Lavia's Lavia is not as available as we would want him to be, and we are also financially restricted. We also have the issue of the club or the sporting directors hesitant to trust what they already have in Enzo Maresca, and their manager is being admired by the best run club in football as we speak, as a whole. And it shouldn't be ignored, because if Maresca continues to win, it continues to grow and continues to feel boxed in. The question won't be will Chelsea sack him? It will be, can Chelsea afford to keep him? And it's starting to tilt towards the direction. If Enzo Maresca can, Maresca with this squad that Chelsea have been able to go toe to toe with teams like PSG, Liverpool, Tottenham, even if I don't regard Tottenham as much, Arsenal. You don't think he's going to be backing himself when he's got players of the calibers, the type of players that Manchester City have? It's going to be, like I said, can Chelsea afford to keep him? Because he's doing amazingly well with what he has. Even that he's not getting everything 100%, but he's doing quite an amazing job. That's everything that I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As regards, who would you prefer Chelsea go for, and who would you rather Chelsea let go to replace one senior player if that happens? But this transfer window so far, I don't think it's gonna be coming in January transfer window. I think it's going. If anything's gonna happen, it's gonna be happening in the summer. So let me know what you guys think, and then let me know what you guys think as well, concerning Enzo Maresca being linked with the Manchester City's job, because and Pep Guardiola is leaving, and it's going to be immense if Guardiola ends up leaving Manchester City, because he has done a great job building a structure there, and whoever comes in is just continuing, is going to come in and find it easy to build on or continue the job that, and the good job that Pep Guardiola has done at Manchester City. So yeah, don't forget to like this video and share, as well as turn on your notification bell so that you are notified whenever I make a post. And yeah, please share this video, and most importantly, I would like to hear your thoughts on everything that has been said so far or discussed in this video. If there's anything that comes up now, between now and tomorrow, I'll be here to share with you guys. And don't forget to check this space tomorrow for my match predicted lineup for the game against Newcastle on Saturday, because it's going to be an early kickoff. So I'll be here to give you guys my predicted lineup for that tomorrow. But then, until then, it's Chelsea first, rivals next. Peace.